APIs. An API stands for Application Program Interface. We're getting a little ahead of ourselves. I just wanted to set the general direction for where we were headed. The first step in learning how to code is to start with one specific language. An easy language to pick up is Python. It has the most intuitive and simple syntax. There aren't any absurd parameters you have to memorize. You pretty much get what you give, and a really good platform for Python is Idle. If you eventually want to start making phone applications, a good alternative is either Swift or another Objective-C based application. The alternative for Swift is actually Xcode if you have an Apple device like a Mac. Step 2. In terms of how to learn, I would use resources like code.org and other websites to start picking up the basics. I'll leave a few in the description. Once you pretty much figured out how to make functions and operations, you're actually pretty much set to start making some money. Step 3, make that green. So let's talk about APIs. Large-scale developers like companies pretty much need APIs. Software engineers really like sharing their work so others can pick up on their art. There's plenty of free APIs on the public domain. There's some you can only access if you have a subscription to a certain software. For example, AWS or Amazon Web Services is notorious for having one of the largest and most intuitive libraries for APIs. Essentially, an API is an operation or program that performs a very specific task. Maybe you can come up with a genius algorithm, an economic formula, a business analytics algorithm, a biometrics equation. Regardless of what your career is or what you're pursuing, you can almost guarantee that you can make some kind of operation that reflects that career path, and if it's unique enough, someone will want to pay to use that operation. Step 4, this part's a little bit more difficult. You can check out some videos on YouTube. I'll leave some in the description. There's some tutorials online, but you'll need to turn your API into something called an SDK or a software development kit. So your API can be easily integrated into any application the developer wants the API to fit into. If you made it all the way here, then you're well on your way. So there's plenty of sites you can post your APIs on. There's GitHub, Rapid API, API Search. All these websites draw plenty of attention, and then once you draw attention towards you and your APIs, you can actually start selling them on sites like Medium or even eBay. Sometimes companies will approach you directly in order to buy or rent out your APIs to use in their softwares. Think of an API like a piece of copyrighted content. When someone uses your content with your permission, you get a small portion of the profit margin. And if you really like the program that much, you can even copyright or patent it, and then interested buyers might come to you to use or completely buy your patent. The thing about APIs is you have to get creative. Starting up nowadays might be a little difficult. You have to get creative in order to find a function that modern day technology doesn't already have the answer to. However, with each new innovation, new problems arise that developers can learn to fix or make easier. Try and find a niche that you appreciate or are interested in, because the general consumer base is relatively satisfied with the technology they have at hand. Only large-scale innovations can pretty much satisfy them, so try and focus on a subject you're really interested in. However, if you're up for the challenge, then general APIs could be the way to go. They do have the most propensity for profit. So once you've gotten all that down, start coding, start building your APIs. I'm going to link everything in the description, so it's extremely easy for you. Once you've made it past all these steps, you can start pumping out a couple APIs a month, and you pretty much get recurring payments every single time that anyone wants to use any one of your APIs. The larger your API library grows, the greater your profits. So the longer you work, the more you get paid. And no matter what degree or career that you're pursuing, you can pretty much guarantee that if your API is creative enough or has enough use, that you will get paid for it. I think that's all the information that you're going to need. Good luck on development. Good luck on coding. Peace out.